binge eating. Today we're going to talk about what it is, the triggers, and how to overcome binge eating. So stick around, and at the end of this video we're going to talk about our weight loss progress. If you have been on our videos before and looked at them, you know that once a week we talk about what we've lost, what we haven't lost, and we give you all the details at the end of the video. So stick around for that. So my name is Lana.
And I'm JR.
All right, so thanks for joining us. This topic is pretty serious. It's an issue that I actually didn't know this, but I went onto Google and found out that as far as the statistics goes and the numbers, they say that there's nearly 9 million people in the U.S. that struggle with binge eating. And we're going to talk about what binge eating is, because some people are a little bit confused about what it is, what it isn't. So we're going to touch on that. And I know I've had binge eating. I think, if we're honest with each other, a lot of people have had those times where they've binge ate. And we do it for all different reasons. I know for me, as far as the trigger goes, when I'm stressed, I will binge eat. And JR knows, I like my ice cream.
Yeah, I'm very likely to get bingey now and then.
Oh yeah, so it's something that does happen to all of us, and it was a topic we wanted to touch on and talk about, and be able to give you practical tips on how to overcome it, because that's the whole thing. We know we might have an issue, but how do we overcome that? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm just going to put my glasses on again because I have some great notes. What is binge eating? So it is a behavioral disorder, and it's characterized by chronic compulsive overeating. Okay, just the short nut of it all. So while occasionally overeating is normal, and that's, we've all had moments where we've had that, an eating disorder is a condition that you live with every day. So just like bulimia, anorexia, binge eating can become be part of an eating disorder. So it feels like, it controls you and interferes with your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. So it's something to really take seriously, and we're talking about exactly what that looks like, okay? So binge eating would consist of consuming large amounts of food in a short period and feeling like you can't stop, feeling a sense of compulsion or lack of control with eating. Binge eating, if it becomes a disorder, it's usually because you're doing it at least once a week, and you've been doing this behavior for an extended period of time. Right?
Years.
So it's not something where, maybe you're out with your friends and, you're at home, sitting in front of Netflix, and all of a sudden you look down and you're like, dang, I just ate that whole bag of chips, didn't even know it.
Or that whole pizza.
Yeah, or a whole pizza. And that happens to us all occasionally. Yeah. But a binge eating disorder is something that's more chronic, something that happens more regularly. Also with binge eating, there's feelings of distress, and, you start to, have self-loathing, not liking where your body is, and just negative feelings, right? So again, binge eating is different than bulimia and anorexia, right? So with bulimia, that involves vomiting, maybe abusing laxatives, exercising excessively after eating. That's all part of the signs of bulimia. But binge eating is different. So one of the things is that some people who do binge eat are chronic dieters, believe it or not, or they attempt to diet after a binge to make up for it. So if you find yourself caught in that cycle where, you're binge eating once a week and then you're going on a crash diet, these are going to be tips that you're really going to, when we talk about tips on how to overcome binge eating, that are going to be really important for you, because that's what we want to help you with. Do you have any thoughts on that before we
Well, it's all very, very serious, and we're not doctors. We don't, pretend to be. We're just talking about a subject. That's my only thoughts. We take it all very seriously, and we're not taking any of this lightly. So please don't think that that we are.
Right, exactly. And like I said, it is an important subject to talk about because at some point we've all had, maybe confronted this issue. So some of the signs that you might be a binge eater is that you're eating past the point of satisfaction and to the point of discomfort. You're eating so much, your belly's so full. Eating too fast, to not even notice how much you're eating and how it feels. Eating large amounts of food when you're not hungry, or after recently finishing a meal, so you're eating even more after you've just eaten a meal. Eating in response to emotional stress, that is definitely a big one, and that is what gets me. I am an emotional eater. Eating alone and in secret and avoiding social eating. Organizing your schedule around binge eating sessions. Hoarding and stashing food in hidden places to access later. So maybe you're living with someone or you're with family and friends and you don't want anyone else to find out, so you're stashing food. Hiding eating from others because you're embarrassed on how much you're eating. Obsessive thinking about food and specific food cravings. Frequently dieting, right? Which may cause weight fluctuations or no weight loss at all. Because that's I didn't know this at first until I started doing this research, was a lot of dieters have bouts of binge eating. And I didn't realize that it was even a correlation.
Right.
And, I definitely have had that issue. In the past when I was, going on these crash diets, and all of a sudden it was like, my crash diet was so restrictive that I went on a binge. And that's something we're going to talk about in the tips, okay? Because that's in the tips later on what we're going to talk about. And also feeling guilt, remorse, shame, or self-esteem issues related to binge eating. And that's, we self-talk really bad to ourselves when we have a binge bout. All right, so what causes the urge to binge eat? So there are many factors that influence eating behaviors. There includes psychological, biological, and learned habits, believe it or not. What triggers you to binge eat might be different from what triggers the next person. So everyone has their own triggers. Eating can release hormones in your brain such as serotonin and dopamine, which might encourage addictive tendencies. So there's definitely science behind binge eating. It does release those hormones in your body, and then you get caught up in a cycle, okay? And again, we want to break that cycle, so we're going to talk about how to overcome that. And also eating can be a way of escaping and numbing uncomfortable feelings and compensating for unmet needs. So again, my trigger has always been, whenever I would have go into a binge eating, would be emotional stress. That is my trigger. I don't know. I mean, for JR, what do you think? What do you think triggers you if you go into a binge?
Well, I'm kind of moody, a little bit. I'm easy to get along with, but sometimes I get a little, if I'm stressed, I definitely don't put my best foot forward with my weight and what I should eat, and I can make myself feel good with food, and I always have to be very careful when I'm not in a good mood. So I'm usually very happy. And
yeah.
So I just, as long as Lana keeps me in that spirit, everything is fine. It's usually when she's troubled that triggers me in some way to want to make her happy, and extras and extra portions and going places to make her feel better. Sometimes I'm not doing the best of doing her a favor by, saying, why don't we do this, or would you like that, or sometimes it's just better to let the person ride it out in their own way, and sometimes they get a little weird with that because I'm trying to overcompensate, where I should probably just let things be.
Yeah.
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 So.
That's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So he really touched on a lot of great stuff there, because those are all triggers, right? Some of the other triggers that might contribute to binge eating would be, as far as emotional triggers, a desire to distract or avoid negative emotions, to alleviate boredom. Some people binge to alleviate boredom. Maybe if you're falling into past childhood bad habits, a response to trauma or abuse. I know that is a big trigger for a lot of people out there. Desiring a reward. Also depression, anxiety disorders, or, a family pattern of dysfunctional emotional coping. We've all have family stuff, and as we become adults, if we don't deal with that at some point, whether through, maybe therapy or some kind of a support system, we carry that emotional baggage with us our entire lives. So, and then as we want to get healthier, we, get on the right track, but then we self-sabotage, right? Why do we do that? We're self-sabotaging ourselves. And it's a lot of times that is definitely tied to something in the past that we need to deal with. So, tips on how to reduce the urge to binge eat. I have here 7 tips, okay? And this should really help you. So tip number 1, eat regularly throughout the day. 3 small meals and 2 snacks. It's something that we started doing to lose weight, and for us, we did the 3 small meals, 2 snacks, and we're on a calorie restriction. Now, if you're not looking to lose weight and you're just trying to handle the binge eating, then just look at the calorie nutritional value that you need for your body, right? So you'll have to figure that out. Number 2, ditch the diet. So following a rigid and restrictive diet can cause feelings of physical and psychological deprivation and hunger, right? So psychologically, our brain, as soon as we say we're on a diet, all of a sudden we want what we can't have. So focus on eating nutritionally balanced meals. So I know for JR and I, we try not to say that we're on a diet. Even though we are working to lose weight, we have refocused our thinking, we've refocused our language to always say we're just eating healthier. So that's something that which should really help out. Don't think of it as you're on a diet. Just think of it as you're rebalancing.
Yeah, because I can't keep anything from myself. If there's a restriction, it's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So that's why we're calorie deficient, because we've cut everything to serving size that we can have without putting on the extra calories. Mm-hmm. So for me, I can have anything I want. I bought a box of donuts that I cut into little tiny pieces, little tiny chunks, and I put them in the freezer. And they're devil's food chocolate Entenmann's, and
they're bite-sized.
They're bite-sized, yes. Yeah. They're bite-sized because I made them bite-sized.
Right.
They were big old donuts.
Right.
But I've cut them into small portions, and every once in a while I can give myself a portion. And so I'm not going crazy when we go food shopping, where Lana, knows I go right for the bakery.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah, this man cannot go to a grocery store. Literally, I am walking through there and I see the bakery and I try to ditch and run away, and I'm like, come on, JR, because it just calls him.
It's until I go and look and see what there is.
And he always comes back with something.
But I have a plan.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Anyway.
But I don't deprive myself. Right. That's what I'm getting to. I don't deprive myself. I cut everything down to a very, very minimal portion that I can have. But I don't keep anything for myself, because it will create a problem somewhere. I will start to feel depressed because I haven't had a donut, or I haven't had a slice of pizza, or I haven't had the things that I want, that I'm used to having. But I just cut everything down to where I can, calorie deficiency is perfect
Key.
for me.
Yeah.
It works.
Yep. So that brings us to tip number 3, which is avoid banning foods, right? So exactly what JR is saying.
Yeah.
Unless you have some sort of an allergy or a food intolerance, avoid labeling food as bad or forbidden.
Right.
Everything is in balance. Everything in the right portion size, and you can have it. It's just a matter of, the right portions.
See,
So
there's a
something to think
method
about.
to my madness.
Yeah, yep. Tip number 4. Schedule fun and engaging activities. Have things to look forward to throughout the week. That's something that we've definitely gotten better at, because all of us get caught up in life, especially right now. Things are just expensive out there. All right, everyone's just like inflation and all these things. So there needs to be things to look forward to. Maybe on the weekend you have off, and maybe there's things you want to do, hikes or kayaking, whatever activity it is. Make sure you focus on that, and set if you have to make a priority, set out a plan, and just make sure you schedule fun and activities. Okay. Tip number 5 is to minimize stress. Again, that is a big contributor to binge eating, right? So, because I'm a stress eater. So some of the things you can do to minimize stress is make sure you get enough sleep. If you need to go see a therapist, go to therapy. Practice deep breathing exercises. Oh my gosh, it works phenomenal. You wouldn't think it, but on YouTube, there's a lot of different channels on how to do deep breathing exercises. It really does help. Right. Meditation, yoga. Another thing you can do, alternative techniques, like acupuncture or even aromatherapy. Those are all, ways to help you de-stress. And like I said earlier, in this world, we are all stressed to the max, I'm sure. And that will contribute to binge eating, because it does for me. So you got to find ways to minimize your stress, for sure.
What about massages? Are they
massages? Yes. Massages, yes, for sure. I'll tell you what, I've gone to a couple places for massages, like a relaxation massage. There's different types. You can do a deep tissue massage. If you're in a lot of pain with your muscles, then do a deep tissue. But a relaxation massage is different than a deep tissue, and it really, you walk out of there and you just feel just so good. So invest in a massage. Some of these massage places, when you go there, they also have aromatherapy. So while you're getting a massage, you've got the essential oils going on. And it's just a great way to really reward yourself and just to help you. You know what I mean? It takes the stress off, for sure. Tip number 6 is try mindful eating. So mindful eating, what that means is that when you're eating more slower and purposefully. So so you can savor the flavors and the textures of your food. So take your time eating. There's no rush unless you're on your 30-minute lunch break at work and you gotta wolf down your food because you gotta get back to work. At home, when you're sitting at the dinner table with your family, your friends, or just sitting there by yourself, take your time. Have a bite, maybe have some water, and in between bites, drink some water. Just slow it down. Yeah. And JR, he's really good at that. He learned how to do that when he went to Italy. Yeah. And man, what an experience that was.
Because they eat so many times a day, and I learned everything. I learned a lot of things when I was in Italy, and I love the way they live. Right. And they drink a lot of wine.
Oh yeah, I love
that. But man, I learned to love wine, and I learned to love all my meals, and it was because they're eating slower. Always family around, or they're very social, and so cramming food in your mouth, eating as fast as you can, as much as you can. That's a problem we have here in America. But in Italy, man, people, they all look so good because they eat, you know, they eat slowly, and they eat so many times, and they don't have big meals. They eat a lot of little meals.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely the key. That's something that, you know, on our weight loss journey that we've talked about in other videos, is having those mini meals, those snacks in between, and just going slower.
Yeah.
So also part of mindful eating is journaling before and after you eat. A journal is great to have, number one, because you want to keep track of what you're eating anyway, especially if you're on a weight loss journey. But when it comes to binge eating, especially if you have emotional triggers, once you start journaling, I believe, you know, at that time when you start journaling before and after, you'll see where those triggers are, and you'll self-identify with, you know, oh my gosh, this is what's causing me to binge eat. So journaling is just a great way to put your thoughts and your emotions onto paper and really get them out. So journaling is excellent. And tip number 7 is to build a strong support system. So whether you're seeing a therapist or some type of an eating group, or, you know, using this channel as a support system, that's what we're all about. We want to build a community of people that are on this channel that are trying to get healthy, you know, lose some weight, you know, do the right things when it comes to nutrition. So that's what we're all about. And we're just, you know, we're glad that you're here watching this video. And, you know, I hope these tips help you. I hope, you know, if this is an issue for you, you know, implement these tips, take them and use them to help you. And I know, you know, again, I told you earlier, you know, I've had to deal with binge eating in the past. It's not something I have going on much. It's not on a regular basis now. Definitely much better, because we are becoming more mindful and more focused on our health and getting healthier. So it makes me rethink doing, you know, having bad habits, right? So I hope that you really enjoyed that, and I hope you take those tips and move forward in your journey as well. And
yeah, because that's some of the hardest things are habits.
Yeah.
And old habits die hard. You know, it's really something that we have to be mindful of all the time, because our mind is always messing with us. You know, there's always triggers. There's always a lot of stress, a lot of different things that cause us to, you know, lapse with our, you know, whatever we're trying to do, you know, trying to create new habits. So, yeah, we just have to be mindful and be really helpful to our partner, you know, to our coworkers, to, you know, everyone that's around us, family members.
Right.
Be understanding, you know, because even when you're having a good day, someone might be, you know, needing a little understanding. So
exactly. Yep. So as we promised from earlier this video, we were going to tell you our progress report and where we are with our weight loss journey. So this past week, I did not lose any weight. So it's the second week that I did not lose any weight. And Jared will tell you, you know, where he's at. And then we're also going to tell you, you know, what's going on in our lives. Because, again, this is something, that's why we want to talk about binge eating. And so, go ahead, Jared.
Oh, she's going to let me go first. So, I was 197. And I am currently, we're giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly out on this channel.
Yep.
And I actually found my way back to being 200. So I am not very happy at all. It's just very, very hard to you know, I come back from walking, I'm expecting that I'm down 3 pounds, and I either don't lose any weight or I'm up a pound. So it's driving me crazy. And Lana, you know, with talking with Lana, you know, we talked about things that are going on, and we're definitely going to go easy on ourselves because we're hitting a plateau again, and I'm not happy. I really didn't even want to talk about it this week. I was like asking Alana if we can like not talk about our weight this week,
right?
but
we're not going to do
we
that.
share everything here, so we are having a tough time, and Lana will tell you more after she, tells about her angle of it.
Yeah, so I told JR, it's not really that we hit a plateau. We know how to get ourselves out of a plateau. Sometimes your body just needs time to adjust, and then you can jumpstart and get yourself out of a plateau. The thing is with us right now, we have a house that we are trying to sell. So we have a lot of stress in our lives right now. There was projects, and we had talked about, kind of hinted to it a couple of weeks ago on different projects we were working on. That's why I had, my back started to hurt, and we had things going on. But we've been just trying to get the house, ready for someone to buy it, and it's on the market. And it's just a stressful time to have a house on the market right now.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's uncertainty for us because when we sell the house, we know where we want to move to. But you still have all these uncertainties, and so it's just been weighing us down a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but a lot.
Well, we're just going through different changes.
Right.
Where there's a lot of things going on across the country, and it's an election year. There's a lot of different factors, a lot of different things that's going on with the economy not being the best economy. So we're just riding a lot of waves. We are emotionally stressed and emotionally, concerned about our family, and just different things. So we're just like y'all out there. We all have a lot going on. So, this can't always be the main focus. And sometimes we drop the ball, and we're doing the best that we can to get back on the bike or horse or whatever to keep on keeping on and.
Yep. So that's it for our weekly report.
Wow.
We hope that you found it helpful.
I hope I didn't end us on a bad note.
No, we got to stay positive, right? Again, take those seven tips on binge eating. Use them to overcome, your binge eating, and let us know down below in your comments. If you found this video helpful, share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like our video. It does help us out, and it lets YouTube know that we're doing something right, and it shares this video with more people. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and check out some of our other videos. And hit that notification bell. Definitely go ahead and hit that notification bell. That way, when the next video that comes out, you'll be the first one to get it. And until next time, stay healthy and happy.